It's the PokerNews Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 860th episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I'm Chad Holloway at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas, joined by Kyna England and Mike Holtz. We've got a good episode for you. We're going to talk about the big story, the elephant in the room in the poker community, and that is Hustler Casino Live co-founder Nick Vertucci has been in the spotlight because there's been some sexual harassment allegations, some intimidation allegations that all stemmed from a tweet by Julia McBride. She is a Southern California lawyer who's played on the Hustler Casino live stream, known as Julia from Palmdale. She shared some text message exchange that she's had with Nick Vertucci from, I think, like a year ago. And it was pretty damning. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, in the WWE when the Vince McMahon lawsuit came out.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, this stuff, I mean... Kyna, I know you guys are talking about it in your groups here.
I mean, honestly, I am very surprised that this kind of language came out of Nick Vertucci. You know, I did not think he was capable of that.
No, me either. I thought he was a stand-up guy. In all honesty, though, like, are we shocked? Is anyone surprised, really? Like, no. Oh my God, Nick Vertucci sexually harasses people. Have you watched the stream when he plays?
I mean, I honestly, like, there's an article that came out about, like, sashimi saying some stuff, and I watched that episode where they were talking about where he starts just touching sashimi, and she's like, hey, don't do that, like, that's sexual harassment. And he was, like, so offended and, like, so, like, just shocked. He's like, fine, I won't do it anymore. Like, such a big baby. I remember watching it on the stream, and I was like, ugh, that's soft-putting.
No, there's been multiple times.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, anytime that dude talks, I just get a vibe from him that he's just, like, I've said on the show before, and I said it a few weeks ago. I said, that's an icky cat.
Icky cat.
And he messaged me and he said, you don't know anything about me. Why don't you let me on the show? Yada, yada, we can talk. And I said, sure, man, we'd love to have you on the show. Because the guy's done real estate scams before. Oh, you're an icky cat, brother. It's obvious.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what to say.
Didn't he block you both?
He actually reached out to all of us and he was like, you guys are mean. You said mean things about me on the show. And like the way that he honestly approached Mike too was a little bit different than the way he approached me. I think it's just a very like masculine power thing that he felt like he had to put me in my place, which he asked me, you know, like, what my opinions of him were. And I just told him some things that like I had seen and that I had observed him actually do. And he wrote like 47 paragraphs too about like why I was wrong. Like he wanted me to be wrong. And then he closed out with, I don't like you very much and no one watches your podcast. So thanks for reaching out though, Nick, you know, really needed to hear that to go on with my life.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he has had such a platform and was able to use power to, you know, obviously sexual harass multiple women.
Yeah, a lot of people have been coming out, and one of the things that inspired Julia, because people were asking, why are you coming out now? And this was like a year ago when she first played in, I think, 2022. And she said apparently there's like a dealer, or was a dealer there, that had been working for Hustler Casino Live, and something, Vertucci basically, what is alleged is that she didn't respond to his advances, or for whatever reason, he's like, I don't want her on the stream anymore.
Yeah, something like that is what it sounded like, is that she went forward with some claims, you know, and then they just got rid of her, that they canned her. I don't know. Allegedly, hopefully more comes out about that, but that really is a big deal. And like, you know, when one thing happens to one person and you come out with it, other people start to come out with it, you know, and we're hearing stories from Ash Kardashian shared on some, what are those called? Twitter
Spaces?
Yeah, the Twitter Spaces. She came out and said that he basically like was trying to offer her like some sort of sugar daddy agreement where he, you know, if she gave him some sexual favors, he would, you know, pay for all of her buy-ins or whatever. I don't know. I didn't listen fully, but that was the gist of it, I think. And that's just yucky, dude. Like, ew. Like, isn't he married? Like, he's like a 58-year-old married guy with like grown daughters. That's just yuck. You know, keep your business and private life separate like that.
Yeah, it's not great. And I'll say I saw a tweet from Airball. You guys saw this?
Yeah.
Where he had said like, you know, Ryan Feldman's a great guy and we didn't know this and that about Nick Vertucci. And it's like, I don't know. I know any of the people I hang out with, as much as Ryan and Nick Airball have been around Vertucci, like, I've never even met Nick Vertucci in person. I before this was 100% sure he was a scumbag. It's just, you just get the read. Like, I don't know. I think everyone who was in bed with him in this situation knew what they were getting into, and I think, some of them might be just as responsible, not just as, but also responsible for these women going on the show and having to deal with this behavior.
Yeah. Speaking of Airball, he did release a tweet in which he says he's appalled by the behavior of Nick Vertucci, encouraging other people to come out, and he does believe that Nick needs to be away from Hustler Casino Live, which I think most people would agree at this point. That how does the show go on with him still involved? I don't know if it's possible, but I also am not aware of whatever their arrangements are, right? If he's a co-founder, if he owns a certain part, what have you. We haven't heard, as of we're recording this, from Hustler Casino Live's Ryan Feldman. I have spoken to him. It's my understanding that a statement is coming. I don't know if it will be later today. It will probably be out by the time this episode comes out. In which case, I'll try to edit in something to show it or whatnot. But he does say, Airball, that until something's done, until Feldman or Hustler Casino address this, that he can no longer support the show in any way, which is interesting because he's slated to go across the pond. The Hustler Casino was doing their first ever international stop
in Cyprus. Yeah, which could be cool. Lately too, like their stream has just not been as great. I used to watch it all the time, and I'm going to be honest, like Nick was on it so much, and he's just kind of not fun to watch either. Like the way he plays and just the comments he makes, he seems to complain about a lot all the time. I don't know, just parting ways seems like it might be a good idea for the Hustler stream. I think
Airball's clearly already talked to Ryan Feldman and knows that they're going to separate ways. They've obviously devised a strategy. Nick Airball and Ryan Feldman are close. So Nick Airball saying, I'm not going to play until something's done. He knows he's going to be removed. Like that's an empty threat regardless. But besides the point, I think the poker community as a whole, we're not this smoky back lounge taboo thing anymore. Poker is mainstream. Our live stream, in my opinion, shouldn't be Hustler Live Casino named after a pornographic magazine. Like, what's going on? That's insane that's the best we get. We can't come up with something better. That's insane to me. Like, the poker community should, as a whole, be able to come together, get one group to do it. The Win would be a great place to do live streams. I'm sure they would be a huge part of it. And you get good players, entertaining players, not a bunch of seedy random cats who are all involved. Not all involved. A lot of those people are involved in who knows what. It's a bad look for the game. Like that Hustler Casino, that's not what poker is. That's something completely different. So I think it'd be much better if we could get back to things like high stakes poker, the way it was before. That was an amazing stream. Poker After Dark. You had players who everyone respected, everyone liked, you had personalities. Now I don't know, I think everyone can say it's not nearly as entertaining as it used to be, and part of that's the venue and the brand that we get, so. Yeah,
it's big shoes to fill though too, right? They're literally streaming high-stakes cash games every night of the week, right? It's hard, you do have Poker After Dark, you do have high-stakes poker, but these are much more rare once every few months sort of thing. So like Hustler had the recipe and the ambition, and they executed on streaming every day, and that's what helped build such a big audience. I was reading over Garrett Adelstein, of course, has chimed in as well. Adelstein?
I think so. I don't know.
Sorry,
everyone in the
Garrett.
comments got angry last time.
G-Man.
But like, he's got to be like, licking his chops a little bit.
Well, he commented, yeah.
And it's just like, first the Garrett Robbie stuff on Hustler Casino. Now there's been other little things in between.
Yeah, there's been other cheating scandals or, what was it, like I don't even want to say. You guys know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, when money's involved, there's always going to be those nefarious characters, right?
But like, look at the Lodge stream. That's been going for about a year and a half now or so. And any scandals come out of there? I don't think so. I haven't heard much. I mean, you just see some crazy hands every once in a while, some good lineups, some fun games to watch, but they seem like they're doing it okay. So
Airball says in response, because Garrett Adelstein, Adelstein.
I think it's Adelstein, isn't it? Adelstein.
Let us know in the comments. He said, nicely said. He said, no, he's kneeling. He says, nicely said, Ryan, as if Ryan Feldman wrote that. And in response, Nick Airball said, this was written by me.
Oh, wait, to the, he said that to
his initial statement.
Yeah, I didn't read that part.
This is,
I didn't read that either.
Recent. This was written by me with the help of my wife. Ryan explicitly asked me not to post anything, and I told him that was not an option. So I guess Feldman, like I said, I've spoken to him a little bit. I still think they're going to release a statement. I do think it's maybe a little too late.
Sure.
When these kind of PR disasters happen, I think everybody's natural inclination, at least in my experience, has been they try to control it. They want to silence it. They want to sweep it under the rug. I think that's, the natural inclination. But when a story breaks this and it just picks up steam like this one has so fast, there's no doing that. The genie is out of the bottle. You need to get out in front of it.
And instead of doing that, it was like rumored that he went ahead and was trying to dig up dirt on Julia. Yeah,
she tweeted about that.
Yeah, which trying to dig up dirt on her to discredit her and, tarnish her reputation instead of being like, oh man, the focus is on me. I better make it be on someone else, And then he tweeted on Sunday something about football randomly, with comments turned off.
No, I think Nick Vertucci's just done. I mean, he's done in the poker community, right? I don't see how there's any way out of this one.
First the real estate community, he switches to poker.
Yeah.
Where do we go next?
Yeah, it certainly would be hard to recover. Kitty Kuau had a tweet that was
a good one.
Yeah, pretty interesting, confirming a story from 2019 where apparently Vertucci showed her explicit pictures at the table during a stream, saying that this is a true story. It was before COVID, and I think it was live at the Bike maybe, so it wasn't actually on Hustler Casino Live, but showed a dick pic, and she said that she replied, "You had a pencil dick."
Yeah,
fantastic, Kitty. Well done.
Because there's nothing that women love more than unsolicited pictures of your junk.
Yeah.
And then
I send unsolicited moodang pictures now. You guys know what moodang is?
The little hippo?
The little hippo. Baby hippo.
I'll take those. You can slide in my DMs with those.
Moodang's my dog.
You
that's my little
look
girl.
at this hog.
No, literally, I love moodang. You think I don't? Oh, wait, next podcast. Remember this. It's moodang time.
Matt Berkey and the guys over at Only Friends did an episode number 603 over there about this whole topic and really echoed we're echoing a lot of the same things that they said. I think a lot of the community is on the same page here, but kind of like you said, Mike, he's like, we should have seen this coming.
It's obvious.
Yeah, all the writing was on the walls there. It was just, he was in a very big position of power, right? Hustler Casino Live became a force within the industry, and clearly he was abusing that power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a friend reach out, is this really newsworthy, right? Their private communication or what have you. And I said, and there's been people in the community saying she is putting emojis and things on it, Julia, that being that. But as I said to him, this is essentially their workplace.
Those people suck.
This is a
Whoever
business.
said that.
You can't act like that in a workplace. In a business
you want to
setting.
be invited back. You have to be cordial. I think to her, the credit of the text is that she did kind of brush it off. She did kind of try and just drop it, right? But it's essentially your boss, somebody that you work for, basically, because you need the seat, you need the income. It's a position of power, no matter how.
Well, you got to think about how much power he's in, right? He can control lineups to a game that potentially has 6-figure consequences. You know what I mean? You can go, what you got to deal with Nick Vertucci texting you and saying some crazy stuff about your boobs, but then you might make $120K. Nick Vertucci could text me about my boobs for that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking in my mind. But then later on, I'd be like, wait a second, what the he can't keep doing. He's doing this to everyone. This is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I could totally see where you're in a situation where, and not Julia, but just I could see where he's definitely, how could he not have gotten away with this with other people on the show, right? If he's doing this with all these women, it's coming out, I don't know. It seems like it's a crazy situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely a repeated pattern there of, bad behavior, and we'll have to wait and see. As I said, Hustler Casino Live says the statement will be coming, but it hasn't yet. It seems like, I don't know how you spin it other than just saying, we are parting ways and he's no longer involved in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or the show goes
well, you
down.
say we had no prior knowledge, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody knew anything about this, and he's gone, everything you said. So, that's what they're going to say, right? What else could they say?
Yeah, it should be interesting. It will be interesting to see if any others speak up, right? Airball coming out and speaking up was a little bit of a surprise to me. I don't know if any other players will or what have you, but just another sad situation within the poker community. We prefer the uplifting stories, but this one is one of those that I think is going to be around for a little while, and we haven't heard anything from Vertucci. He's been
except about football. There was a tweet about football on Sunday.
And Poker News has reached out to him, and he's declined comment. And,
Sure.
you know, if he still wants to come on the show,
I don't think so. Yeah, he's blocked us all. So I don't think
we're
that's
all
gonna
blocked.
happen.
I think he still follows me. So.
That's fair.
It's hard to block Chad. You can't do that. We're easy, right?
Yeah, I'm the chaotic evil. You know, you gotta block me. That's fair.
All right, well, let's shift gears real quick. I want to thank our sponsor for this episode. You see some signage on the table. You see it on the screen behind Mike and Kyna. I'm talking about the #1 free-to-play app, WSOP. This is an app that's been around for a while, and I just got involved with it because they're sponsoring the show. And I got to tell you, I've been having a lot of fun with it. They got a lot of different things. PLO's on there. They got their No Limit Hold'em. They got these little fun games to play, like the Daily Blitz. Anyways, check it out if you can. You use code PokerNews, you'll get $1 million in chips. It's downloadable on the App Store and all that. We actually did a fun little video segment I'm going to introduce. You're going to see more of these on the Poker News podcast. And they are basically replays of famous hands throughout WSOP history and filtered through the WSOP free to play app.
Okay.
And it's the first one we were like Samantha Abernathy. She's one of their ambassadors, right?
Yeah.
I went back. I found a great hand that she played in a ladies event at the WSOP. Check it out. 2023 World Series of Poker Thrill Team member Samantha Abernathy was deep in the ladies championship. 31 players remain in a field of 1,295 with the blinds at 10K, 20K, 20K big blind ante. She min-raised it. Early position with pocket jacks. Both blinds call. The flop comes ace, queen, 3, check, check. She continues for 60K and only Mary Dvorak in the big blind calls. The turn is the 9 of diamonds. Check, check. River, 8 of diamonds. This is where it gets interesting. Mary leads out small, just 30,000. Samantha Abernathy piles it in, all in. Mary thinks and thinks with just a pair of queens, makes the call and ends Abernathy's run in 31st place for just over 5K. That's this week's replay, but if you want to play hands like this one, be sure to download the #1 free poker app now and use code word PokerNews to get 1 million in chips. All right, so there you have it. Check out the #1 free-to-play poker app, WSOP. You can download it now. Use code word PokerNews. Speaking of WSOP, they had the online main event on GG Poker, and there was a big hand in this tournament. It was a $5,000 tournament, 6,146 runners, 4 million up top for the champion. So it's 4 million, 3 million, 2.3 million, and 1.8 million when a pretty sick hand happened that some are saying is one of the biggest bad beats in the history of poker because of the money on the line. We're going to show you a clip here. It was Phil Locke. Our boy Phil Locke was on the call with Jeff Gross. Check it out.
Don't do the itchy. Wow, 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 he did the itchy.
He went for it. He didn't like that he got shoved on last time, and now Isaac is in there. Kings to 6-4 off. 164 million, so much money on the line. Do we have a sweat? Not really.
Upset.
Not really. Needs a, oh my God.
Back
there is
doors
a sweat.
exist.
He
Back
turned
doors.
a sweat.
3 or 8 can't be a club.
Oh!
Oh no!
No.
All right, so there you have it. Evgeny Akimov and Isaac Barron. Isaac Barron, gets it in. Top set. He has to lose to Runner. Not only that, the turn is a club, and Barron has the king of clubs, so it can't be a club like Runner to straighten him out of that tournament. I mean, is that one of the worst bad beats because of the money on the line? Barron gets 4th place for 1.8 million, whereas if he wins that, he's a huge chip leader and 4 million up top.
Yeah, I think that's the worst bad beat of all time, probably. It's like the aces versus aces in the $1 million buy-in might be more raw equity as far as like money goes. But yeah, I mean, that's an insane spot in a tournament where first place was like, 10,000 buy-ins or 1,000 buy, something crazy. I mean, yeah, it was like $4 million for first and a 5K.
Yeah.
It's a pretty insane situation to be in where it's like life-changing money. And then, I mean, obviously Isaac Barron, an OG pro, probably is crypto rich, but... disgusting stuff. I also heard there was a really bad beat earlier in that the guy that got eliminated in 31st place lost 6s to Ace Jack all in pre-flop. Was it me?
Yeah,
no
I was
one
just
knows.
going to say,
It
was
could have
that
been me.
you? Are you dropping your bad beat
It
story
was my
here?
bad beat.
That is yours.
Yep. Yeah, I got 31st.
The
so.
actual hand that we're talking about actually reminded me of just, when I would study spots and, when you kind of step into an oopsie, because obviously it was ICM pressure, right? The guy's just trying to buy the blinds or whatever, get these guys to fold. But a saying that used to pop into my head with my buddy who I used to study with is, sometimes you win anyway, and that's exactly what happened.
Sometimes
you win anyway.
Get dirt nasty on him. What can you do? He hit the dirty bird on the river.
Akhmov went on to finish runner-up, though. He didn't win the tournament. Yeah, took second place in that one for, what did I say second place was? $3 million. The $4 million prize going to Moritz Dietrich. Before anybody,
where's he from?
Germany, I'm guessing.
Dietrich?
Yeah, I think that's the guy I lost the flip to.
Yeah? Well, before people get all mad, like, how was Mike playing? He's from Las Vegas. He literally went down to, where'd you go in Mexico? Somewhere in Mexico.
Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yes.
Like, I've never been there before.
Check out his, where was it on Instagram or Twitter where he posted a video? Wow.
Well, it was sunny out and it was hot, and I don't know. I have really sensitive eyes, so I couldn't see very well in the sun.
Hey guys, I'm down in Mexico.
Yeah, no. Well, I had to post it just for the haters and losers who would say you're VPNing, so I had to show them all. I was in paradise, actually.
Well, we're going to be in paradise on Saturday night because we're having our first ever meetup game for the PokerNews Podcast.
That shit's crazy.
And Connor Richards, of course, Life Outside Poker. Connor's going to be there with us. It's going to be a fun night full of cash games. There's a 7 p.m. nightly tournament, $200 buy-in, and I'm sharing here for the first time. So as you're watching this comes out on Friday. This means tomorrow night, 7 p.m., $200 nightly. The winner of that tournament, we're going to juice it with a seat into a very special event that is coming up in Las Vegas on Saturday, October 19th, so the following weekend. It is the Heroes for Kids Celebrity Poker Showdown hosted by Jeremy Renner. Like A-list celebrity, Hawkeye from the Avengers.
It's going to be cool.
I don't know the lineup.
I can't wait to win.
A lot of other celebrities there. This is going to be a fun event. I think the seat into it is $600 value. There's going to be cocktails, cards flying, and this is just for playing the nightly. Like, right? It's going to.
It's a really fun nightly too. I've played it a couple times. It's Resorts World's great environment. It's one of my favorite places to play. It's a nice casino, nice poker room. So come hang out with us. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'm just sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I'm just excited to see some of my pals down there, Some of the peeps who watch the podcast want to connect down to earth people like us, you know what I mean? Come on down, play some cards, check raise me. I'm going to be playing like an idiot. I'm going to give you guys free money. I don't know if you guys like that or not, but come down, $200 tournament. Will I win? Probably. Will I lose? Maybe. Who knows?
Probably.
We'll see.
Probably
I'll lose. Yeah.
I'm going to call in some favors, get some friends down there. I hear Connor already talked to one Joey Ingram who said he might come down and pay us a visit.
Chicago Joey.
It could be fun. And as I said, that Jeremy Renner event, that's going to be awesome. Like when we got this, we got in touch with the people and they said, hey, maybe we'll do a giveaway. I said, can we do it at the meetup game? And they said yes. Thought that was awesome. The poker tournament is just one part of the Heroes for Kids charity weekend. There's also a golf outing that has some huge celebrities in there. Sugar Ray Leonard, Michael Chiklis, Rob Riggle, Mekhi Phifer, just a whole lineup going out there on the golf course. I don't play golf, so that's not for me. But then there's also a concert that's happening at Brooklyn Bowl, which is down on the Strip. I'm going to go to that. That should be a lot of fun.
Who's there?
Robin Thicke, Richard Page, Skip Martin, Gavin Rossdale, Robin Zander. They got a whole lineup that should be a lot of fun. And not only that, they're doing some great stuff for families, right? So this is what it is all for, is for kids. So the Renovation Foundation has partnered with Clark County to provide 100 foster parents with tickets to the concert that I just mentioned. So they're going to get a much deserved night out for doing, being foster parents. And then earlier in that day, they're at the bowling alley, which is, so it's a bowling alley by day and it is a concert venue by night. So during the day, they're offering 100 local foster youth and families to come in for a day of bowling for free from 3 to 5 p.m. You can sign up online. It just should be a lot of fun.
When is that, Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday, October 20th.
October 20th.
I will link to the Renovation Foundation, or you can go to renovationfoundation.org for more information. Should be fun, and I can't wait to see who wins the seat. We're eligible.
Me.
So could be you. What also could be you is the ladies event that's coming up at the NAPT. Remember, that's running the first 10 days of November at Resorts World. That's why we're doing the meetup game there. And they're doing a fun women's event. They've slapped a guarantee on it, which doesn't happen often. So it's $330 buy-in tournament, $30,000 guarantee. This is on November 5th at 12:30 p.m. This is the tournament you won
I was
last
just going
year.
to say, who's the reigning champion? I wanted
The
to
reigning,
I wanna-
defending,
Let's
women's
go.
champion, Kyna.
got my little Spady, got my little ladies trophy. You get 2 trophies if you win a ladies event. So yeah, I'm going to play it again. It's going to be awesome.
That's not equality. We
No,
only
it's
get
not.
one. That's cool.
That's right.
Wow.
We get 2.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. And, speaking of the NAPT, we are doing the NAPT Gold Pass giveaway. This is the final episode of our code word.
Oh, shit.
As soon as I drop this, the window opens for you to email the code phrase to chad@pokernews.com, and you will be entered to win. Remember, you can get some extra entries if you follow us on SoundCloud and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. That's 3 extra entries you can do. Just send me screenshots to prove you've done it. Now, we've been doing this for weeks. We've been dropping one keyword on our show and Connor Richards' Life Outside Poker podcast. The 6 words spell out a phrase. Email me that phrase. The last code word, I bet you everybody was guessing it was going to be England because last week's was Kyna.
It was Kyna.
But it's not. We were one step ahead. It's cool. Kind of cool. That's her Twitter
me.
handle.
Oh, wow. And you gave away last week's word this time, too.
There you go.
It's
So now
two
you're
for
only
one.
got
2 for 1.
4.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
how about
yeah,
this?
yeah.
If you come to the meetup game on Saturday, if you're here in Vegas and you come, find any of us and ask us what the key phrase is. Well, let's just give it to him.
Yeah,
As a
we'll just tell
reward
you.
for showing up.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
You're going to give him a lot of your money is what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's exactly
So,
what I meant.
And that's a big prize too, guys. What is it? It's the 10K package?
yeah, it's a
10K.
$5,000 into the 5,300 or whatever it is into the championship NAPT event. And then you get travel and you get a hotel. You get a whole player experience.
Pretty sick.
It's gonna
Are they
be
putting them
good.
up at Resorts World? Because Resorts World is nice.
I'm pretty sure that they are. Yeah.
That's nice.
That would make a
It's
lot of
good,
sense.
It's
It
a
would be
good prize,
really
guys.
shitty if they put them up like the
The Flamingo,
Yeah,
the
or
Rio,
something.
the Rio.
Yeah,
I mean, those aren't shitty places. I'm not bashing. They're
What
nice
places did you say?
establishments.
Which places?
The Rio is pretty shitty.
The Rio's a garbage
Yeah.
factory. Are you serious? Are you for real?
There are other ways to win gold passes, of course. Nick Wright, I seen actually tweet that they're giving him one to give away, which I thought was pretty cool. Sounds
Yeah.
like he might be involved in the big game because they're going to film.
Oh, shit.
His contest was like post a bad beat story or something, right?
I think
and
so.
I was thinking about it. He had like already like 300 entries. I was trying to think about it and I was like, mine aren't really that good. Like I was reading some of them and some of them are really good. I shouldn't vote, but I saw one that I thought specifically should win. But yeah, I just felt like if
Which
I post
one?
mine, it's like crying. Well, I think, is it okay if I say it? I don't know. Okay. Well, like Keith Hine, I know him from the Midwest, and
yeah.
he posted a story about his grandpa bad beating him in a hand. It was actually really funny. So go check out Nick Wright's tweet and find it and give it a like because I was entertained by that.
I know they gave away one via Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, through FanDuel? Yeah.
And on a tweet as well. So basically they said, put the name of any player that you think will score a touchdown on October 6th, which was this past weekend, and then they would find a winner based if you got it right.
Oh man, I should have done that. I did a touchdown parlay and I missed it by one guy.
Wow. Sharp.
But I guessed 5 of them right.
Wow.
I don't know who
It's great.
I don't know who won that. I'm going to try to find out, and then we're going to do a little segment here where we flash Gold Pass winners. I'll try to find out who won that Gronkowski one. Gronkowski is going to be at NAPT. He's
cool.
going to be playing on season 2 of the big game.
Yay.
No way. How do I get?
I wonder how they're picking. Are they picking the contestants the same way that they picked them last year?
No idea.
Yeah, they haven't really said anything. Usually, like, I feel like at this time, well, I guess we're still a little early. We were hearing about that event, like, and how to get entered into being able to play. So I guess stay tuned, right?
I just want to pick with Gronk so I can send it to my fantasy football people, preferably with my Miami Dolphins gear on because he was a Patriot and a Buccaneer, I guess. But that's pretty cool for him to give away and to get that involved. You know, those are the positive stories that I like. Getting these celebrities involved in the poker world, and Gronkowski is certainly a big name. Another big name, maybe even bigger, is our PokerNews Pennsylvania ambassador, Keith Becker.
Keith Becker.
Yeah.
He actually won a silver pass to the NAPT, which is basically, so they have these step systems, right? The path to the NAPT, as they've called it. So you've seen people win their way in for as little as 50 cents. They've got a $10,000 gold pass. Well, silver pass is this bi-weekly, I think, $1,000 satellite that they hold. And so 2 silver passes were awarded in a $100 event, and our ambassador Keith Becker got one of them. He's filled in on the podcast before. And so soon he's going to be hopefully getting one, parlaying that into a
Wait,
gold
so the
pass.
silver pass, you just play for a gold pass? So
Yeah.
I thought maybe a silver pass was like just the seat, not like all the travel stuff. I was envisioning it differently. So, I mean, that's cool. It's not like super cool yet though, right?
So he won a seat to a satellite? That's sick, man.
Don't
That's
get
sick.
down on my boy Keith.
No, Keith.
Big story on the PokerNews podcast.
Keith's sick. I love me some Keith. I hope he wins that satellite, I guess.
I have a feeling he's going to be at the NAPT one way or another.
Yeah.
We love you, Keith. We're just kidding. We're just kidding.
As are a bunch of recent Gold Pass winners, because they're giving them away. Check out some of the latest players to win their way to the NAPT via the Gold Pass. Here it is. All right, there you have it. Remember, you could see yourself in the next Gold Pass winner video because of this very podcast. The window is open now. You've got the code word from this episode. Put it together with the others for the key phrase and email it to chad@pokernews.com. And maybe in next week's episode, we will be profiling you. Speaking of poker stars, they have recently wrapped up the WCOOP. And they did a fun fantasy draft thing where they had some of their ambassadors draft a team. They went head to head and had some prizes, 4 weeks long. And ultimately, it was Team Peace and Love. Team Peace and Love. How nice is that? Captained by Sebastian Huber. He ended up winning this tournament with 8,270 points, just edging out Tonka. Who
Team
we also
Tonka,
love.
baby. What could you do? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Our
How'd
boy-
Spraggy do?
I was just going to say our boy Spraggy,
Poorly.
dead
Our guy.
last,
Aw,
6th place.
Spraggy.
Yeah, he had a bad coup.
Yeah.
What can you do?
No luck for him.
8 on the river, just crushing him in the last video. Not fair. Unfair. Unlucky.
But yeah, it was a fun little sweat. I'm a big fantasy guy. I play fantasy football. Fantasy poker was one of the first subjects I ever wrote about when I broke into the industry, and still love to do those sort of things. So I thought it was a neat little thing that Poker Stars did. And, we can't play in the WCOOP, unfortunately, but Europeans can. And right now, this was just a bad segue into the World Series of Poker Europe that is wrapping up kind of as we speak. PokerNews has been on site doing live updates throughout, and there have been some notable winners that have captured some titles. One of them was in the, let's see, I want to go with event number 3, the mini main event, 13,050 euro buy-in. Christopher Campiasano.
$13,000 buy-in for the mini main?
1,300. Did I say 1,000?
Yeah,
You did.
I'm trying to juice up the numbers as
Yeah,
we're
no,
going to
that's
talk
fair.
about
That's
it.
fair. Yeah, juice them up, baby.
He ended up taking that down for 213,000 euros. One that I was really happy to see, Vivian Saliba.
Oh, yeah. She
That's
won the
cool. She won the
PLO.
PLO.
Yeah. And that's where she's made her name. Like, she made a deep run in a 25K WSOP Vegas PLO event in the past. She became an 888 Poker Ambassador. She still is. And here she is taking down the 2,000 euro buy-in PLO tournament for 91,000 euros and her first gold bracelet. For me, that's the big story that's come out of it so far. I really love to see that. Alessandro Piccieri, he took down the 25K GG Million for 335,000. And then you have Martin Cabral, who I say love him or hate him, but name me somebody who loves him, because
There's people that like him.
anybody.
No,
Yeah?
I've seen in the comments. Some people love him. Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen it.
All right. Well, I actually have had some interactions, and I don't mind him. He's very polarizing, and I think that can be good for the game. But I know a lot of players who have to play against him don't like him.
I heard a nickname that people were calling him the Mosquito. And
Holy
it
shit.
seems perfect.
That's so good. Martin the Mosquito Cabral. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Whether or not he actually cheats or not, he wants he wants the other players around him to feel uncomfortable that he might be cheating. That in itself is against the spirit of the game. So, I mean, I don't like his antics at the table. I think the majority of the high roller community doesn't like his antics at the table, and they'll all tell you as much. The event he won was a 19-person event.
30 entries. There are some rebuys there.
30?
Yeah.
I thought it was 19.
I'm looking at the PokerNews update, which, so this was the 50,000 euro diamond high roller, 30 entries, almost 1.4 million euro in the prize pool. He took it down for 529,000 euros.
That makes sense, I guess.
It's his third, gold bracelet.
Yeah, I guess 30 people is enough for a bracelet. Who knows anymore?
There was somebody who tweeted
care.
out like there should be a qualifier on the number of entries for a bracelet, which was a pretty interesting idea. I think they said 100. Like unless it has 100 people, it shouldn't qualify for a bracelet.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. But I think bracelets are getting really devalued at this point. It's like kind of a problem. It's like really bad.
I think it was Patrick Leonard who tweeted it, and if it is, I'll flash it on the screen. Yeah, where he said like Vegas bracelets should be gold bracelets. This one right here, right?
Yeah.
And then like WSOP Paradise, WSOP Europe should be like a silver bracelet. The rings should still be for the circuit.
What about online bracelets?
And then, then there should be watches, I think he said. And then that 100-player mark for everything in order for it to qualify. Which,
it's a good idea.
Yeah, not opposed to it, to tell you the truth.
No, I completely agree. Also the rings too. I mean, it's whatever. It is what it is. But how many rings are they giving? It's a lot. It's a lot of rings.
Well, there's so many rings too, and there's such small events for rings because they're just the circuits are everywhere. You get
you get Quebec online or Ontario online. They've got like 16-player ring events on the regular. It's like PA gets ring events with like 40, 100 people.
Yeah,
it's just like another trophy, though. I think a ring is just the equivalent of another trophy.
Yeah, I agree. The rings are only worth like 50 cents too. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
There was a point in time where like winning a ring had a certain prestige to it, but now they're just so easy. I won't say easy. Like it's not easy to win any poker tournament, but like if you say, "Hey, I want to win a ring and I have the money to do it," and you just hit the circuit, and you're probably going to bink one of them.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Live or online.
I mean, there's so many online.
They are.
ones.
I mean, to be fair, the rings have always, I assume, had less players than.
I don't know. Like, I feel like when I was playing them back in like 2018, 2019, before COVID and everything, they just do their bigger fields. Like, it just was more, it seemed more prestigious, but also, I was just starting out. So that was really cool. Like I won my ring in 2020 and it was like the coolest thing ever, right? Like, I mean, it was the first thing I had won. So, I mean, not to devaluate it from somebody else's perspective, it's still cool. Like it's cool to win a tournament. You got a trophy. You know what I mean? Like you win a Resorts World Nightly, you get a little coin. It's still cool.
No, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. The only WSOP circuit ring I bought. From my buddy who won it, and he didn't care for it, so I bought it for $200 and sold it for $4. So
it's pretty good. That boy's flipping rings.
That's how we do. It was a PLO from Potawatomi Casino.
Potawatomi.
Speaking of rings in the WSOP circuit, they just wrapped up their stop at Thunder Valley Casino, which is one of my favorite places to play. It's where Alan Kessler won his $1 million jackpot.
Shout out to Ben Irwin.
Yeah, they do a good job up there. They had a bunch of different events. Looks like 13 different tournaments there, awarding rings, including to Miran Mozinzadeh. I butchered that one, but took down the 2200 high roller, 111 runners in that one. So that was a pretty big field, $58,000 to him. And then in the main event, $1,700 buy-in. It attracted 812 runners, and Travis Egbert, $214,000. And he did so after a 5-hour heads-up battle against Jean Thao.
That's great too. I know Travis. He's like a local there. I think that's his like stomping grounds. Like I've been up there 3-4 times maybe, and I always see Travis. He's a nice guy, fun to play with, quiet at the table, wears these like reflective shades like all the time. So good for him. Good job, Travis.
He won both this was his third ring, and both his others came from Thunder Valley.
Yeah, cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Way to go. 5 hours too. Oof.
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
It's it's weird. Like as a poker reporter and who does tournament updates, it's like a nightmare.
Yeah, right. Every single hand.
Yeah.
No, that sounds like the worst thing ever. Live poker heads up for 5 hours.
I can say, when I won my bracelet, I was heads up for, I want to say a couple hours. And it's the time, if you're in the game, if you're playing, it's intense, and every moment is pressure and it flies by. But as a reporter who's standing there just waiting for something to happen, I'm sure the same railbirds, like you've been on many rails. It's just like
small blind limps, big blind takes 30 seconds to check. There's 30 seconds for checking on the flop, the turn, and then a quarter pot river bet and a fold. It's like, fantastic stuff.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Poker News Podcast. Remember, the window is open now for our $10,000 NAPT Gold Pass giveaway. You can email the code phrase to chad@pokernews.com. Also, if you follow us on SoundCloud, leave a review on Spotify, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, you can earn up to 3 additional entries. So that would be 4 total. You do need the key phrase, though, first. That's the first way you can earn 3 bonus. I'm going to link to all the details in the show notes. And remember, tomorrow night, as you're watching this, if you're watching it on Friday, on October 12th, Saturday night, 7 p.m., meetup game at Resorts World. I'll be there. Kyna will be there. Mike will be there. Connor Richards will be there. A lot of our friends will be there as well. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.